the same things. So first we will discuss about the what are the challenges of artificial intelligence, or what are the challenges to work in the AI related project, and what are the challenges while developing a AI based application. So one of the challenges is called bias. So bias and what mean by bias? So generally, in a particular area or a particular region or a particular classroom, if one person doing some, suppose one particular student doing something, what he is saying, the teacher says that he is right. That means the teacher is biased toward that person. Okay, he's biased toward that person. Or if one student saying something, the teacher always counter it. He said that every time, no, it's not right. That means he is biased against that person. So that is called bias. Bias means we are moving towards a particular person. We are favoring a particular person, or we are not favoring a particular person always. So that is called bias. So your application should not be a bias. So your application will be genuine. It not be biased. It not a bias towards a particular region, a bias towards a gender. It should not be done. I will give the example also. So your application should be genuine, not biased, no partiality. It would be genuine. And another challenge is error. So while training your machine learning model or deep learning model, what is our intention? Our model should be predict value which is close to the actual value. That means the difference between the actual value, predicted value, that is called error, that should be as minimum as possible. Okay, so that is one of the key challenge of any AI project. So you have to do many things. You have to play with the data. You have to play with hyperparameters of the model. You have to play with the different types of the model to get the error as minimum as possible, so that your application will be performing well. If your application not performing well, then so it will create a huge problem to the users who are using your application. So we will discuss one by one later again. So that about error. That is the one challenge. So that means one challenge is your application. You have to develop an application that should not be biased towards or biased against any particular region or particular gender, any particular factor, particular feature. It not biased. It should not be biased. Okay. Second thing is the AI model or deep learning model or machine learning model, what you are developing, that has a minimum error as much as possible. So if the error is minimum, then your model will be predicted so close to your actual value. So your error should be minimum. So that is one of the challenge in the AI project. So to do that one, you have to play with data set, you have to play with hyperparameters, you have to play with different models, all the things you have to play. And third point, that is third challenge is data could be exposed. There is a possibility. There is a possibility data could be exposed. So you have to take care of it. Suppose if you develop some breast cancer related mobile application or web application based on AI. So some persons is feel shy to go and meet the doctor to check whether the person has a breast cancer or not. Then what she will do, just she will open the AI based application which is used to diagnose the breast cancer. So she entered the all the data, what the data that application is asking, she entered everything, because she has a shy to go to the hospital to talk with the doctor. So she opened your application and she believes your application. So then she entered the complete data to check whether she has a breast cancer or not, right? So in such scenario, your application should keep the data confidentially. That should not be exposed. So that is the one of the challenge. It's a very private information, very secure information. Sometimes it's a private information. Sometimes you have a secure information also. So such type of things, there is a possibility to be exposed. So you have to take care of it while developing the application. Hope you understand. And solutions may not work for everyone. So there is a possibility you develop an AI application for a particular purpose. So make sure that your application should be work for everyone. Okay. So there is a challenge, may not work for everyone. That's a challenge. So a challenge means address cheyali. Address cheyali so that your application should be useful to everyone. Like that, you have to build the application. So that is the one of the challenge. That means your application, you have to develop an application such that that application can be used everyone. Anyone can use that application. Like that, you have to build the application. Okay, that is the one of the challenge. And users must be trust your complex systems. Suppose you are a good programmer or a good in AI and you develop a very high complex AI based system. But so you have to give those details to the users. First, the user should believe your application. First, user should understand your application. So then only your application has a value. If users not understand, if users not believe your application, then what is the use of our application? What we developed, right? So users must trust your complex system. అంటే నేనేమంటున్నానంటమ్మా, నాకు బాగా ఏఐ వచ్చు, ప్రోగ్రామ్ వచ్చు అని వెరీ హై కాంప్లెక్స్ సిస్టమ్ డెవలప్ చేశారనుకోండి, వెరీ గుడ్. బట్ అట్ ద సేమ్ టైం మేక్ షూర్ దట్ యువర్ అప్లికేషన్ విల్ గెట్ ఎ ట్రస్ట్ ఫ్రమ్ ద యూజర్స్. దట్ ఇస్ ద వన్ ఆఫ్ ది ఛాలెంజ్. సో ఆ ట్రస్ట్ ఎప్పుడు వస్తుంది? దట్ ఆల్సో వి విల్ డిస్కస్ వన్ బై వన్. ఓకే. అండ్ హూ ఈజ్ లయబుల్ ఫర్ ఏ డ్రైవింగ్ సిస్టమ్? ఓకే, ఎవ్రీథింగ్ ఫైన్. అండ్ వన్ మోర్ ఛాలెంజ్ ఈజ్ సపోజ్ ద అప్లికేషన్ ఈజ్ నాట్ performing or application is performing the wrong way, then who will be the liable? Who will take the responsibility? So that is also one of the point. Okay. So these are the challenges. So what are the challenges? So if you develop an AI application, so that application, make sure that this should not be biased towards or biased against a particular factor. The application what you developed, that should have a error as low as possible. And if you developed the application, make sure that the data the user is entered into your application, the data should be confidential. This should not be exposed. And the application what you developed, that can be used everyone. And the user must trust your application. The user must trust your application. And you have to take the liability if your application is not working well. If your application develops in the works in the wrong, if it's not working well, or if it works in the wrong direction, then you have to take the liability for that AI system because you are developed. So these are the key challenges of AI or artificial intelligence. Okay, so based on the key challenges, Microsoft developed few principles for the responsible AI. Few principles for the responsible AI. Those principles we will discuss. So what are the principles of responsible AI? One is called fairness. These are called the principles of responsible AI, and it is very important. As of my knowledge, based on my experience, so maybe you got one or two questions from this responsible AI chapter. So what are the principles of responsible AI? So there is a total 6 principles. So those are fairness, and reliability and safety, and privacy and security, inclusiveness, transparency, accountability. And each principle will address the one challenge in the previous section what we discussed. ఇక్కడ నేను చెప్తున్న ప్రతి ప్రిన్సిపల్ కూడా ఒక ఛాలెంజ్ వాట్ వి డిస్కస్ ఇన్ ద ఎర్లియర్ స్లైడ్, ఇట్ విల్ బి అడ్రస్డ్. ఓకే. అండ్ ఐ వాంట్ టు షేర్ వన్ వీడియో రిలేటెడ్ టు ద రెస్పాన్సిబుల్ AI. Later I will continue with the one by one. Okay, so I think it's not working well. And okay, fine. Hope my voice is audible, right? Okay. Now, first we will discuss about the first challenge, first principle. What is the first principle? Fairness. So that fairness principle will be addresses the one of the challenges of AI that is called bias. సో ఫెయిర్నెస్ ప్రిన్సిపల్ అనేది బయాస్ ఛాలెంజ్ని అడ్రస్ చేస్తుంది. ఓకేనే. సో వాట్ ఈస్ ద ఫెయిర్నెస్ ప్రిన్సిపల్? సో ఫెయిర్నెస్ ప్రిన్సిపల్ మీన్స్ ద AI systems should treat all people fairly. AI system should treat all people fairly. Fairly means there is no partiality. That means there is no bias towards a particular factor or bias against a particular factor. That should not be there. Your application should be fair. There is no partiality. There is no bias towards or against. So that is called fairness principle. So how Microsoft addresses that fairness principle of AI application? So Azure machine learning includes capability to interpret the models and quantify the extent to which each feature of the data influence the model prediction. So Azure machine learning has some features. So those features will tell you you have the different input features. Like in the COVID prediction, you have the fever and O2, cough and cold. Based on these four features, you are going to predict the COVID, whether the person has a COVID or not. So what Azure machine learning have capability is how much influence of each input feature on the predicted variable that will be analyzed. So based on that analysis, before training, you are able to understand, before deployment in the real time, you are able to understand whether your prediction is equal priority or any feature is highly biased. So that will be understand based on, that will be analyzed based on the Microsoft Azure AI solutions. That is Azure machine learning. So this capability of Azure machine learning helps the data scientists and the developers to identify and mitigate the bias in the model. So that data scientists are able to mitigate and identify the bias in the model. Okay now? So, I hope you understand what means the fairness, and I will give you one more example to you. So actually, maybe a few very early days, a few years back, so Amazon want to develop a online interview system or online system to shortlist to select the employees, to recruit the employees. Okay. So Amazon developed an online system to recruit the employees. Okay, for that one they developed an AI application. So unfortunately, what happened is that application, if any male candidate submit the resume or data or attend the interview, that application select that person. But if the female is submitting their resume, that application is rejecting because the model is highly biased against the women. Why it's happening? Because when the application is developing, at the time of the developing stage, in the data, more samples are taken from the men rather than the women. ఓకేనమ్మా. సో నేనేం చెప్పాలనుకుంటున్నానంటే ఈ అమెజాన్ ఫ్యూ ఇయర్స్ బ్యాక్ అనమాట, ఎర్లీ డేస్. సో అమెజాన్ వాంట్ టు డెవలప్ వన్ ఆన్లైన్ రిక్రూట్మెంట్ సార్ట్ అంటే క్యాండిడేట్ రిక్రూట్ చేసుకునే సిస్టమ్ని డెవలప్ చేసింది. సో డెవలప్ చేసినాక ఎప్పుడైనా మెన్ అంటే ఎవరైనా మేల్ క్యాండిడేట్స్ అప్లికేషన్ సబ్మిట్ చేస్తే that is fine. It is analyzing and selecting the candidates. But when the female candidates are submitting, it is rejecting. Most of the cases, it is rejecting the female candidates. Later, they analyzed. They based on their analysis, they observed that their AI system, what the developed, what the AI system they are using, that AI system is highly biased against the female. So when number of female is submitting the resume, that is rejecting. So it is biased against. That is bias against the female. So why that is happening? Because when they are developing the AI system, we require data. The data contains more data coming from the men and very few data is coming from the female candidates. Because of that reason, while training, that will be trained against the women or female. So I hope you understand what I want to convey with you. So how this Azure machine learning will overcome this fairness, this bias problem? So actually, Azure machine learning has the capability to analyze the data, So whether all the features and in every feature, every factor has the equal amount of influence on the prediction or not, such type of analysis will be done by using the Azure machine learning. So that data scientists, what they are using, they're able to identify if there is a bias problem is there. So then they take some necessary action to mitigate that bias problem, So hope you understand the fairness principle. So ఇట్లు క్వశ్చన్స్ వస్తాయి అన్నమాట. So fairness అంటే that fairness means your AI model should not be biased towards or biased against any region, any gender or any feature. So that will be take every feature equally, every gender equally, every region equally. In the same fashion they have to see. So if your model prepared in such fashion, then you can say that your model is a passed in the fairness principle. Passed in the fairness principle. And one more example I want to tell. Suppose if you want to develop an AI application for a banking sector, the requirement is your application will tell whether a credit card will be issued to a particular customer or not. Your application, your AI-based application will tell whether a credit card can be issued to a particular person or not based on some features like what is his age, what is the health condition, where is coming from, what is the gender, what is the income, and whether he is a salaried person or businessman. If he is a salaried in the public sector, in the private sector. So based on some features, you developed an AI application to tell whether credit card can be issued to a particular person or not. In such scenario, your application should not be biased to a particular person as he is from a particular region. So we have to give the credit card. Your application should not trained in such a manner. So whether from which region he is coming, from which sector he is coming, from which gender applying. But your application will give genuine result. అంతేగాని పర్టికులర్ మనకు తెలిసిన మన ఏరియా నుండి వచ్చింది కాబట్టి వీ హ్యావ్ టు ఇష్యూ ద క్రెడిట్ కార్డ్ అన్నట్టు ఉండకూడదు. హోప్ యు అండర్స్టాండ్. సో యువర్ అప్లికేషన్ షుడ్ నాట్ బి బయాస్డ్ against or biased towards a particular region or particular gender or particular feature. If that is satisfied, then you can say that is the fairness principle is passed by your application. Hope you understand what means the fairness principle. So some questions will come from the fairness principle. They will give some case study. You have to analyze whether it belongs to fairness or not. You have to analyze that one. So I want to share a small video related to the fairness principle. Maybe you are able to understand so much.
So right now, we do live in a society that is unfair and biased in many different ways. And I think the whole point of focusing on fairness in AI systems is to make sure that the systems that we develop and we deploy reduce unfairness in our society rather than keep things at the same level or even make it worse. And for me, that's really the goal. We've seen a lot of news stories over the past couple of years about AI systems that are used to allocate or withhold opportunities, resources, or information in domains like criminal justice, employment and hiring, finance, credit. AI systems can reinforce existing societal stereotypes. Another example would be cultural denigration. We also have over and under representation. There isn't a single definition that we can easily quantify and just integrate into our systems. Fairness relates to not just the system, the technical component, but it relates to the societal context in which the system is deployed. And that means that fairness in the context of AI systems is a fundamentally socio-technical challenge. This means that we've got to have a greater diversity of people developing and deploying AI systems. And what we see is that the assumptions and decisions made by teams at every stage of the AI development and deployment lifecycle can introduce biases. And that's why this is such an important topic. This isn't something that we can just sort of delegate to one or two people and call it quits and move on. No, this is something that everybody has to be thinking about really actively.
Hope from this video, you are able to understand what mean by fairness principle in the responsible AI. So hope you understand fairness simply. So your application should be fair. It should not be biased against or biased towards to any particular gender or particular region. So then it is a fairness principle passed by that application. So that you have to in the video also you can see. So there is a combination of men and male and female, the combination of white people and black people. That means it represents the regions. Okay, so make sure that your application is not biased. So that is based on the what type of data you are using. What type of data you are using. Suppose if you want to build a mobile application for the Indian currency detection, if you use the thousands of currency notes images of all the denominations, whereas you use only 5 images of a 10 rupee note denomination, in such case, your mobile may fail to recognize the 10 rupee note. That means biased against 10 rupee note. So your application will be biased against or biasing towards that is depending upon the mainly data. What type of data you are using, how your data looks like. That is very, very important. That's why I told that uh, uh, data, you have to spend more amount of data at the time of the data preparation. You have to spend more amount of data. So that is about the fairness. So they will give some case study. You have to select that case study belongs to which principle of responsible AI. So suppose you create a machine learning model to support the loan approval application for a bank. The model should predict whether the loan should be approved or denied without bias. Okay, what the application you are developing to issue a loan for a particular customer, then your application should not be biased. It will give a genuine result whether to approve or deny the application process, sorry, loan process. This bias could be based on maybe gender or region or other factors that results in unfair advantage or disadvantage to the specific group of application. A particular group of application కి ఫేవర్ కానీ అన్ఫేవర్ కానీ ఉండేటట్టు ఉండకూడదు మీ యొక్క అప్లికేషన్. If that is satisfied, then you can say that the model is satisfying the fairness principle of responsible AI. And another principle of responsible AI is reliability and safety. So what is the reliability and safety? So AI systems should perform reliably and safely. So that this reliability safety principle can be correlated with the error challenge. Error challenge. So that means whatever the model you are developing, that should be have very, very less error in all the circumstances. That then your model can be performing well in all the scenarios. So if you are unable to maintain the lowest error, that may be a mean square error or mean absolute error. So whatever the error, if you are unable to maintain that least error, then your application will not performing well. And it may create a problem to the end user who are using your application. For example, consider a AI-based system for autonomous vehicle. You are developing an AI-based system for autonomous vehicle. Autonomous vehicle means driverless vehicle. Okay, so if you're not properly trained your model and your errors are very high in a machine learning model, which is used for your autonomous vehicle, then your autonomous vehicle will create a accidents to the people on the road. It will create a huge disturbance to the people or the crowd. So that is a very dangerous. Similarly, if you're developing a machine learning model to diagnose some disease based on the patient's symptoms, and your application will recommend a few prescriptions. Let us assume you are developing an application to diagnose some blood cancer. Okay, so your application will diagnose the blood cancer based on the by collecting the few features, few symptoms from the patient, and it will tell whether that person has a blood cancer or not. And based on the result, if it is a blood cancer positive, then the application will suggest some prescriptions. If that is the application, if you're not trained well, if you not maintain the errors very less, then what happen? Your application will be performing in the wrong manner. That means if the person don't have a blood cancer, but your model suggesting as a blood cancer, and it will give some prescriptions, and he is using, it will create a serious health issues to him, right? So that's why your application should be more reliable and safety that can be achieved if you're able to maintain the proper training and evaluation, and if you're able to maintain the minimum error during the training and testing. That is very important. So error should be very, very less. Otherwise, it will create a huge problem, and safety point of view also it will create a very huge problem for the people who are using that application. So how this can be addressed by using the Azure machine learning? So AI-based software application development must be subjected to rigorous testing and deployment management process to ensure that they work as expected before the release. So before you are deploying your model into the real-time application, before third party, another outside users are using your application, you have to do it more number of training and testing cases you have to do at your system, at your laboratory place. You have to rigorous testing is required on your application. Okay, if you feel that if your application pass all the testing cases, all the use cases, if you feel that it is a safety and more reliable that can be work in any circumstances, then you can easily deploy that model into a real-time application where other people can be end users can be used that application. So it's required. So if you want to maintain the reliable and safety principle of in your application, so it's required a rigorous testing is required, and various management process will be deployment management process will be done. That is very important. So hope you understand what mean by the reliability and safety. Uh, Still, if you have any doubt, so once again, I will share this video. So by seeing this video, you are able to understand the uh, more understanding about the reliability and safety principle.
So right
Sorry, sorry.
now, we do live in a society that is
So sorry,
unfair
by
and
mistake
biased in
I
many
copied
different ways. And I think the
same
whole
link in the
point of
both cases.
focusing
I will
on
share later.
fairness in AI.
I will update my PPT because again it is showing the fairness only. Just give me time. Okay, I will share that video later. But anyhow, once again I will repeat. Uh, Whether you are able to understand or not, this responsible AI, I don't know. That's why once again I will repeat that one. So reliability and safety. So reliability and safety nothing but the, so your developed application or developed model should be more reliable and should be more safety. So that principle can be passed by your application or for your model. That can be happened only if you are able to build the application or if you are able to develop the model with less errors during the training and testing phase at the laboratory level. Okay, suppose if you are unable to train and test the model at the laboratory level very well, then it will create a huge problems for the end users. It safety related problems, and also your application will not be a more reliable. For example, you developed some AI-based solution for a autonomous vehicle, and you are not trained your model perfectly, and it has a huge losses. But you deployed that AI model into the autonomous car. If that not trained, not well trained, or the model which has a high losses model is deployed in the autonomous car, then it will create accidents on the road if you use it in the real time. So it will create a very problem for the safety perspective also. And another example is, suppose you are developing an application to diagnose the blood cancer. So your application will take some inputs, some symptoms from the patients, and once it's submitted, it will give the answer whether that particular person has a blood cancer or not. If that has a blood cancer, it also suggests the some prescriptions. Let's assume that is the case study. So for this application, you have to develop some AI model at the laboratory level, and you trained and tested your AI model at the laboratory level, and that model is not well trained. It has a high losses, but still you deployed that model into the mobile application, and end users are using. Once the users are entering the data, because your model is not well trained, so maybe if the person don't have a blood cancer, but your model may suggest the blood cancer. Yes, your model will tell it is have a your model may uh, diagnose that it is a blood cancer positive, and it will suggest some medicines also, and that person use that medicines, but actually don't have a blood cancer. Okay, then it will create a new issue for that health perspective. New issues will be created for that person, and safety related issues will be happening. Okay, so the model what you are developing, that should be more reliable, that should be operated in all the conditions perfectly, and that should be more safe. These two can be achieved only if you are able to train your model and test your model in the multiple use cases with less error. So that's the third point. AI-based software application development must be subjected to rigorous testing and deployment management process to ensure that they work as expected before the release in all circumstances. More reliable. మీకు నిన్న ఒక ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చెప్పాను. What is the some extra benefit of cloud usage rather than the physical usage? So one of the benefit of the cloud usage is reliable అని చెప్పాను. Reliable అంటే ఏంటి? Suppose if I want to store the data, I have a server. If I store my data into my server, if something happened to my server, my data will be lost. It's not reliable. Everything looks fine, everything looks good, then it's okay, I can use the data properly. If some abnormal conditions happen, some due to weather condition or high power fluctuations coming, then if your server was crashed and database was you may lose the database. But what the cloud based services are, some Microsoft, Amazon, they are providing the cloud based services. What they will do, so if you want to store the data into their, if you want to use the data services from the Azure or from the AWS, so your data, they will store in the multiple servers across the globe at the different locations. So something happened like earthquakes or some power fluctuations or wars, some servers are gone and some other server is available. So it is more reliable. So it is more available. Whether the wars are coming, whether the weather conditions are not good, but still the data is reliable. So that's what I'm saying, the reliability. Reliability means your application should be perfectly working fine in all the circumstances. If you want to work with a identification of the plant disease, diagnose the plant disease based on the leaf images, so your application should work in all the circumstances, in the good light, bad light, in all conditions your application should be performing well. Then you can say that it is a more reliable. And this can be achieved only if you train and test your model at the multiple scenarios and you develop the model with less error, then this will be possible. Next, privacy and security. Okay, privacy and security. So this is the third responsible AI principle. If anyone listening, I hope everyone listening the class, by seeing this statement, privacy and security, this principle can be related to which challenge of AI that we discussed in a few slides before. నేను చెప్పింది ఏంటంటే ఇంతకుముందు ఏంటన్నాము ఫెయిర్నెస్ అని ఉంది కదమ్మా. సో ఫెయిర్నెస్ కెన్ బి రిలేటెడ్ టు బయాస్ ఛాలెంజ్, reliability and safety related to errors challenge, and privacy and security can be related to which challenges of AI, which challenge of AI can be addressed by using the privacy and security principle. Anyone? Yes, data encryption or data. Yes, very good, Priyank, very good, thank you very much. So data should not be exposed. Okay, so that is the privacy and the security. So privacy and security. So AI system should secure the and respect your privacy. So as I said earlier, so again I am repeating. So some people have a bad health condition. They feel shy to go to a hospital and check with the doctor. At least they want to check the diagnosis report at the from home only without seeing anyone, without observing anyone. Then open their laptop and open some application, and they enter all the data what they are asking. So the data is stored in somewhere. That data should be confidential. So don't expose that data. It may be some private information may be available. Maybe some confidential information may be available. So that action you should be take care while developing the application. So that is the privacy and the security. Your data should be privacy, maintain the privacy, and your data should be secure. Okay. So the machine learning models on which AI systems are based rely on large volumes of data, which may contain the personal details that must be kept private. You have to maintain the privacy. Okay. And even after the models are trained and systems are in production, training uppade kaadu, even the application is in the production. So at that stage also, a new data will be entering into your application. New data will be entered. New users are coming. They submitted the data. So that data should also keep in a privacy and security concern. అంటే ఒక డిసీజ్ డయాగ్నోస్ కోసం ఒక అప్లికేషన్ డెవలప్ చేసినప్పుడు ఒక హాస్పిటల్కి వెళ్ళి వేరియస్ పేషెంట్స్ దగ్గర నుండి నేను డేటాని కలెక్ట్ చేసుకొని నా మోడల్ని ట్రైన్ చేస్తాను. సో ఆ డేటాని కూడా మనం ఎక్స్పోజ్ చేయకూడదు, బికాజ్ ఇట్స్ సమ్ ప్రైవేట్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్. అట్ ద సేమ్ టైమ్ మీరు ట్రైన్ చేశారు, టెస్ట్ చేశారు, మోడల్ పెర్ఫార్మ్ బాగా అవుతుంది, అప్లికేషన్ డిప్లాయ్ చేశారు, రియల్ టైంలో సమ్ అదర్ యూజర్స్ ఆర్ యూజింగ్, దే ఆల్సో సబ్మిట్ ద డేటా. సో ఐ హ్యావ్ ద అవుట్ లెవెల్ దిస్ వన్, male, gender, female, whatever it may be, they will enter the complete data innocently and they are believing your application. So that data will feed it to your model and process it, and it will give the diagnosis report. And the data will be stored. The data should be not be exposed to anyone. That also you have to maintain that. So that is called privacy and security. And privacy and security mostly related to data. Okay, that is mostly related to data. Okay. So this is about the privacy and security principle. And see, I think
Privacy is a fundamental right, and Microsoft has a long-standing commitment to privacy and security in the systems and products that we build. With AI and machine learning, we add new complexity to those systems and an increased reliance on using data to develop those systems, to train the systems. That increasing reliability on data adds new requirements for keeping the system secure. For example, we're using more data. We need to ensure the protection of that data, that it's not leaked or disclosed. One of the ways we approach that is to not remove the data from a customer's device, to run the models locally on the device, eliminating that potential vulnerability. When we consider the security aspects of these AI systems, you have to think through where and how the data is coming from, if it's user-submitted data or a public data source that's being used in the prediction. How do you prevent that from being corrupted? Having things like anomaly detection or other systems for detecting changes in the data that might indicate that there's an adversary trying to influence the results of the system.
So hope you understand what mean by privacy and security principle of the responsible AI. Principle of responsible AI. Okay. So privacy and security mainly related to data, and data should not be exposed either in the training stage or in the production environment. That should be kept private and should be secure. That's the thing you have to understand. And inclusiveness. So what mean by inclusiveness? So AI system should empower everyone and engage the people. So, so based on this statement, anyone can tell inclusiveness principle can be related to which type of challenge, AI challenge, inclusiveness. The name itself says that inclusiveness. So that is related to what challenge of AI? Anyone? Yeah, one responded. Yes, perfectly. All right, Pawan Kalyan, right. So there is one challenge. Your application may not work well for all. So you have to address that challenge. If you want to address that challenge, then make sure that your application will pass the inclusiveness principle of your responsible AI. So inclusiveness means you have to include all the peoples while developing the application, all the parameters while developing the application. Let's assume I am developing a mobile application to recognize the currency notes. Let's assume. Suppose if I am not get the audio output here, then this application can't be used for by the some visually impaired people. Okay, then. So that's the thing you have to develop. So what are the application you are developing? Make sure that even the people who have a physical disability also can use that AI application, so that all the people can able to use that application. So like that you have to develop. You have to you have to include all the people, even the person has some disability. If the person has some disability, you have to address something what you can do to use that application by overcoming this or his or her disability. తన దగ్గర ఉన్న డిజేబిలిటీ కూడా ఓవర్కమ్ చేసుకుంటూ నీ యొక్క అప్లికేషన్ అది యూజ్ చేయగలగాలి అంటే వాట్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు డూ, వాట్ ఫీచర్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు యాడ్ టు యువర్ అప్లికేషన్, దట్ ఆల్సో యూ హ్యావ్ టు టేక్ ఇట్. సో దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ ద inclusiveness. Okay, so inclusiveness, this one. Okay, so AI system should empower everyone and engage the people. So empower everyone and engage all the peoples, irrespective of their physical disabilities or gender or sexual orientation, whatever it may be. So maybe there is slight confusion may create. Sir, here also you have a gender, and in the fairness also you have a gender. So these are the different cases. Okay, so here the problem is every gender, whether male or female, whether the person is a good or a some physical disability, whatever it may be, everyone able to use that application. And fairness means that is the biasing, making some favor, your application making some favor. This is the inclusiveness is with respect to the usage of the application, and fairness is related to the outcome of the application. Okay, fairness, outcome may be favor or in favor. So that is about the fairness. But inclusiveness, so your application should be take care that everyone can use, whether it is a gender related or physical disability related or sexual orientation, whatever region, ethnicity means region. So all are able to use that application. So like that you have to develop. Okay, so hope you understand. So that means inclusiveness means while preparing your application, you have to include all the peoples. Even the person who have a physical disability also can use your application. So all the people can able to use your application. That is called inclusiveness. Okay. So I want to share the video related to inclusiveness principle.
If we think about what we're really trying to achieve, we want to make sure that we as Microsoft empower and engage the communities around the world, making sure that no one is left out, making sure that we are intentionally inclusive and intentionally diverse with the approaches that we take towards AI. We want to make sure that that full spectrum of communities are covered. And if we truly think about how we can design for the 3%, we can then solve for the 97% at the same time. We want to make sure that experiences like seeing AI, speech-to-text translation out of PowerPoint, and other technological examples that we have that we're building upon, including the Microsoft accessibility standards, represent just an example of the extensive toolkits that we have here to ensure everyone truly designs for an inclusive AI future. As a woman of trans and non-binary experience, and also being Latinx as part of the underrepresented minority community, ensuring that these future experiences are truly representative of the underserved minority communities, we need to make sure that they're involved both in the earliest concepts and feature design and planning, but making sure that they're part of our testing, that we are also building with side by side individuals to make sure that we are not taking an ableist perspective for the population we intend to serve.
So I hope that this video will give some awareness about what mean by the inclusiveness principle of responsible AI. So make sure that the application what you are developing that can be useful, that can be used by all the peoples, irrespective of the physical disability or gender or sexual orientation or region, whatever it may be. And next one is the transparency. So next principle is the transparency. Your application should be more transfer. So transparency maintained. So based on this transparency title, so what you can tell, this transparency principle address the which challenge transparency address related to which challenges of AI. So one responded trust, right? So users must trust your application, right? So users must trust application. So when the users will trust the application, you must be more transparent. Your application should be more transparent. Then only they can use your application. So maybe you are a very well programmer, or you may be a very good knowledge in the AI, and you developed a very high complex systems, work very well. But if you not get the trust of the users, there is no use of your application. So when you can get the trust, you can get the trust when your application is a more transparency, maintain the transparency. So how we maintain the transparency? So first I want to give one example. Maybe in 2020, no, I think 2021, maybe at the latter stage of 2020, especially COVID peak stage, right? So I got one WhatsApp message or some message in my mobile that there is a one application which is able to, there is a mobile application which is able to diagnose the COVID. So for that one, what we have to do? So just install your download and install that application on your mobile and open that application and keep your biometric finger at the scanner, and that application will diagnose whether you have a COVID or not. That's the overall information about that application. So, but at the same time, there is another news is circulating at that time. So don't use such type of applications. So if you use that one, they will capture your biometric information by using that scanner. So immediately I uninstall that application. I'm not using later. So what makes me that thing? Because I don't have a trust on that application. So if they give a transparent information about their application, so then people go through the document, go through that complete information, they may trust that application, then they can use it. So, so your application should maintain a transparency. How we maintain the transparency? How we maintain the transparency? So that can be maintained by giving the pin-to-pin information, complete information about your application, end-to-end information about your application to the users. So every application have a user manual. So that user manual should be very clear, very simple, and give the complete information about your application. Then they will believe you. They will trust your application. Then they can use it. That's called transparency. You should be a transparent. Don't hide anything. So it should be a transparency. That's what. So user should be made fully aware of the purpose of your system. Should be made fully aware of the purpose of this system, how it works, how it works, and what the limitations may be expected. Everything should be transparent. Don't hide anything. So you have to give every information. Then you got some trust from the users, and the users may use based on the requirement your application. Okay, that is called transparency. Okay, so transparency principle can be maintained if you give a user manual with a transparent document, very fair information and easy understanding, and a simple manner you have to provide about your application. అలా కాకుండా మీరు ప్రాపర్గా ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఇవ్వకపోయినా, ఇచ్చే ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ యూజర్కి అర్థం కాకపోయినా, ఈవెన్ దో యూ ఆర్ డెవలపింగ్ ఏ వెరీ కాంప్లెక్స్ వెల్ అప్లికేషన్, బట్ దేర్ నో వన్ ట్రస్ట్ యువర్ అప్లికేషన్. సో యూజర్స్ మీరు చేసిన అప్లికేషన్ని ట్రస్ట్ చేయాలంటే you have to give the clear information in a simple manner, and you have to provide the complete information about your application. So you should be very clear. And to application అయినప్పుడు that pros ఏమి ఉంటాయి, cons ఏమి ఉంటాయి, everything you have to give to that users. Then you will get that uh, trust from the users, and you can maintain the transparency of your application. Responsible AI principle, transparency principle. So I want to share one video. It may help you to understand the transparency principle of responsible AI.
Transparency and intelligibility can help us achieve a really diverse range of goals. So things from mitigating unfairness in machine learning systems, to helping developers debug their AI systems, to gaining more trust from our users. There are two sides to transparency. In part, transparency means that the people who create AI systems should be open about how and why they're using AI, and also open about the limitations of their systems. Transparency also means that people should be able to understand the behavior of AI systems. This is what you often hear referred to as interpretability or intelligibility.
So hope you understand that. So people should be able to understand the behavior of the AI system. So that can be made if your application is more transparent, and the users will trust your application and they will use your application. Okay, so that is about the transparency. And coming to the last principle of responsible AI, so that is called the accountability. So accountability means people should be accountable for the AI systems. Designers and developers of the AI-based solution should work within the framework of governance and organizational principles that ensures system solutions meet the ethical and legal standards that are clearly defined. Okay, so every area, every region, every country has its own ethics. So your application should follow those ethics. And the developers and designers are the accountable for their application. They have to take the accountability. If something happened, they have to take the accountability. So don't say that I'm not responsible for it. So you have to take the necessary actions to take care of your accountability on your developed application. So this principle can be correlated to which type of challenge in the AI. So that is the last one. Who is liable for the AI driving system? Suspecting an innocent as a criminal based on the FR, face recognition. Yes, FR means face recognition. This is AI application. So based on the face recognition application, if your application suspecting an innocent as a thief or a criminal, then who will be the accountable? So the developers and designers take be ready to take care of that accountability if something happening in the wrong direction. So that is about the accountability principle AI. The one of the principles of responsible AI. So these are the uh, various principles of responsible AI, and it is a very important topic related to Azure machine learning certification examination. So you have to just go through these six principles of AI. You will get some questions from here, one or two questions from this one. Based on my experience, I am telling those things. So with this one, actually content delivery is completed, and I have prepared the one more PPT based on the new topics. I will discuss about that one also. So there the new features are in Microsoft Azure. So there is a few more features are in the Microsoft Azure. Yes. So there is a few more features are in the Microsoft Azure. So those things we are going to discuss in the next 20 minutes and later take a 50-minute break. So post break, I will give some guidelines how to prepare for the final certification examinations. I will share some PPTs. I will give some activities. So you have to do it from at home from the next 2 to 3 days. Okay. So new service that is available in the Microsoft Azure AI since last 20, that means November 2023, from the last month onwards. One is called document intelligence. So what is the document intelligence? So document intelligence is an area of AI that deals with the managing, processing, and using high volumes of variety of data found in the forms of forms and documents. Let's assume uh, oh, you want to build some AI-based application to diagnose some type of disease, let us assume, some type of disease. So you need a data, right? Okay, then you go to some hospital. So that hospital staff said that we don't have any soft copy. We have all the some type of all the data, old patient data in the form of some forms, that means hard copies and documents only that is available. Then in such scenario, what you have to do? So you can use the document intelligence. So this document intelligence of AI can be used to process the complete content on the uh, hard copy documents, forms and documents, and make it to the soft copy as a database. As a database. So okay, let example there is a let assume COVID related only. Let assume we will take some COVID related only. Um, so fast, let us assume at 2020 starting COVID stage, let us assume for the first 6 months. So maybe all the staff, that means persons who are feeling that they have a COVID. Okay, they went to the hospital. Let us assume. So hospital staff gave one hard copy, one paper. In that paper, they are asking some questions. You have a fever? Yes or no? And what is the temperature? Measure it and enter. And you have what is your O2 level? Measure it and enter. And you have a cold? Yes or no? And you have cough? Yes or no? Such type of written or some document is available. Tick some values are available there. So such type of data they are collected from the patients and they use some testing device to diagnose whether the COVID or not. And the later they will write whether it is a positive or negative on that form. So for the first 6 months, let us assume the hospital collecting, maintaining the data like that. So after 6 months, because of the AI boom, some people are working on a project to build some software solution to diagnose the COVID. So let us assume we got that project. Then I saw some of you. So go and collect the data. And you go to the hospital and ask you, so we want to work on some software application to diagnose the COVID. So we want the data. Can you give your soft copy in the Excel format like that? You may ask innocently. but we don't know. Then they said that we don't have any soft copy. So if you want, I have these forms, the papers. Some papers are there. Those papers are given to you. Then there are two options. So you can open one form and manually you have to prepare the data on your computer, or you can use the document intelligence. So the document intelligence will extract all the key information from your scanned documents or from the hard copy of your documents. So they will take a favor, yes or no, favor feature, yes or no, what is the favor value, what is the O2 value, cold, yes or no, cough, yes or no. Now at bottom, that what is the person who are working in the hospital, they will enter whether positive or negative. That information, everything will be extracted and prepared some database. That type of things can be done by using the document intelligence. It is one of the Microsoft service, AI service. So document intelligence enables you to create a software that can automate processing from contracts, health documents, financial forms, and more. It will take the automatic processing to extract the data from there. So that is the document intelligence. So it's the new things are coming. So actually, there is some sources are available. Maybe this type of contents may not be available, but because these are the newly added. So these things are available in the Microsoft. I'm telling why I'm giving this statement. I will tell. So what is the document intelligence in the Microsoft Azure? So what are the different document intelligence services in the Microsoft Azure? So Azure AI document intelligence to build solutions that manage and accelerate data collection from the scanned documents. Scan documents. I think yesterday I gave one more term. So which AI service can be used? Which AI service can be used to extract the data from the scanned documents? So anyone able to remember what I told yesterday? So this is a document intelligence in new version, but there is something else we discussed yesterday based on the older version. So what is that one? Anyone able to recollect? No, not computer vision. Okay. From the scanned documents. So exactly computer vision only. But in the computer vision, there is one special service only to extract the data from the scanned document. Okay, optical character recognition again, that's also good, but optical character recognition used for the some images, from images like JPG format images to extract some data, that is the optical character recognition is used. So optical character recognition is used to extract the data from the images, not from the scanned documents. So optical character recognition is the part of computer vision only. So K. Sanjay, you said that computer vision, I can agree with you, computer vision, but specific feature I am asking, specific service I am asking. Maybe in the last lesson I'm not much focused on that that no. So that is called, one thing is called form recognizer. There's one service is called form recognizer. So Azure Kubernetes service is a computing resource. So form recognizer is one of the service which is used to extract the data from the scanned documents. ఓకేనే. సపోజ్ మీకు రేపు ఎగ్జామ్స్ ఏమైనా వచ్చారనుకోండి, సో ఇఫ్ యూ చూస్ ద ఫార్మ్ రికగ్నైజర్ దట్స్ ఫైన్, ఆర్ యూ కెన్ చూస్ ద అదే న్యూ కంటెంట్ బేస్ చేసుకొని క్వశ్చన్స్ ఏమైనా వస్తే యూ హ్యావ్ టు యూజ్ ద ఏఐ డేటా ఇంటెలిజెన్స్, డాక్యుమెంట్ ఇంటెలిజెన్స్. ఓకే, అర్థమవుతుందమ్మా? సో ఫార్మ్ రికగ్నైజర్ అనేది నేను ఒకటి మనం డిస్కస్ చేసాం. సో ఫార్మ్ రికగ్నైజర్ ఈజ్ యూజ్డ్ టు ఎక్స్ట్రాక్ట్ ద డేటా ఫ్రమ్ ద స్కాన్ డాక్యుమెంట్స్. And one person represented Azure Kubernetes service. Actually, this is a computing service. So if you want to run your application, you need some computing resource at backend. For that purpose, in the production environment, in the real-time environment, you are using the Azure Kubernetes service. Okay. Thank you for your response. Whether it's right or wrong, there is no problem. So you gave some interest, you gave some environment to interact with you. That's enough for me. So Azure AI document intelligence are nothing but a older version. It is called the form recognizer. So the AI document intelligence is used to build the solution that manage and accelerate the data collection from the scanned documents. So features of for the features of Azure AI document intelligence helps automate document processing in applications and workflow, enhance the data-driven strategies, and enrich document search capabilities. It enrich the document search capabilities. You can use the pre-built model to add the intelligent document processing for invoices, receipts, health insurance cards, and tax forms and etc. సో ఏంటి వాట్సాప్ ప్రీ బిల్ట్ అనే వర్డ్ ఉంది ఏంటంటే few documents may have a specific format. So you can build some models to extract the specific field from the specific documents. That is called pre-built model. Okay, అంటే ఓకే వన్ టైప్ ఆఫ్ ఇన్వాయిస్ డాక్యుమెంట్స్ ఎట్లా ఉంటాయి? సో ఇన్వాయిస్ డాక్యుమెంట్లో కంపెనీ నేమ్ ఉంటుంది, డేట్ ఉంటుంది, ఐటెం ఉంటుంది, కాస్ట్ ఉంటుంది. సో వీటిని మనం ఎక్స్ట్రాక్ట్ చేయాలి. సో ఇవే ఉంటాయి కాబట్టి దానికి రిలేటెడ్గా ఏమైనా ఒక ఇంటెలిజెంట్ మోడల్స్ మనం డెవలప్ చేస్తే వాటిని ఈజీగా మనం ఎక్స్ట్రాక్ట్ చేయొచ్చు. సో దట్ ఇస్ కాల్డ్ ఇంటెలిజెంట్ మోడల్స్. ఓకే, సో Azure AI document intelligence to create the custom models with your own label data sets also. So Azure AI document intelligence to create the custom models with your own labeled dataset. And you can prepare the dataset by using the document intelligence. The service features are available for use and testing of the all these will be available in the document intelligence studio. All the Microsoft Azure document intelligence services are available in document intelligence studio. నిన్న మనము ఆటో ఎంఎల్ డిజైనర్ ఆ సర్వీసెస్ ఉన్నాయి కదా, వేర్ దోస్ ఆర్ అవైలబుల్? సో దోస్ ఆర్ అవైలబుల్ ఇన్ ద Azure machine learning studio. Now this document intelligence is available in the document intelligence studio. So these are the various features available in the related to the document intelligence and available in the document intelligence studio. So what are the features? Document analysis and pre-built models. So document analysis means extract the text, tables, structure, key value pair, date and value, name and value, that is the key value pair, and named entities from the documents. So to extract the text, tables, structure, key value pairs, and named entities from the documents, scanned documents, so you can use the document analysis that is available in the document intelligence studio. Okay, and pre-built model. Pre-built model means you have the specific type of scanned forms. So from that documents, specific documents, unique documents, you want to extract the unique features. So you can use the pre-built model to extract those unique features. Okay, unique features. Okay, so that's all about the document intelligence studio. And document intelligence studio has the data analysis and pre-built models to extract the data from the unique documents. I said that unique documents. So invoice has a proper format, and different documents has a unique format. So such type of unique documents, to extract the documents from such type of unique documents, you can use the pre-built models. So again, the document analysis. So maybe it's a mistake, data analysis and mistake, it's a document analysis. So in the document analysis, there is again few more features or services: read service, layout service, general document service. So read service means it extract, print and handwritten text along with the barcodes, formulas, and font style from the images and the documents. This is the read service which extract the text, barcodes along with the barcodes, formulas, font styles, and from the images and the documents. And layout. So layout feature, a layout service extract the tables and extract the checkboxes. Checkbox means maybe I said no, COVID, yes or no, that is the checkbox. Cough, yes or no, that is the checkbox. Such type of information and text from the forms and documents can be used layout service. General documents, like to extract the key value pair. So key value pair means location, Warangal, university, SR, institution, whatever it may be, organization, SR university, name, date. So date, see, DATE, date is a key, and its value is a 14/12/2023. Name is a key, its value is a Venkatramana Veram Setti. Like that, to extract the key and value pairs, we use the general documents. And next one is knowledge mining. So knowledge mining is the term used to describe the solution that involve extracting the information from the large volume of often unstructured data and to create a searchable knowledge store. సో మనము ఐ థింక్ ఫస్ట్ స్లైడ్లోనే మనం డిస్కస్ చేసాం నాలెడ్జ్ మైనింగ్ అంటే ఏంటి. సో నాలెడ్జ్ మైనింగ్ ఏం చేస్తుందంటే అన్స్ట్రక్చర్డ్ డేటాని ఎక్స్ట్రాక్ట్ చేసి ఇట్ మేక్ ఏ సెర్చబుల్ కంటెంట్, ఒక సెర్చబుల్ స్టోర్ లాగా క్రియేట్ చేస్తుంది. ఓకే, సో సెర్చబుల్ అంటే స్ట్రక్చర్ డేటా కింద కన్వర్ట్ చేస్తుంది. సో అన్‌స్ట్రక్చర్డ్ డేటా అంటే దానికి ఒక వితౌట్ ఆర్గనైజ్డ్, నాట్ ఆర్గనైజ్డ్ డేటా, అన్‌స్ట్రక్చర్డ్ మీన్స్. స్ట్రక్చర్డ్ మీన్స్ కంప్లీట్లీ ఆర్గనైజ్డ్. సో అండర్ ద నేమ్ కాలమ్ యూ హ్యావ్ ద నేమ్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్, under the favor column you have the favor information, under the cold column you have the cold information. That's called structured format. So this knowledge mining will take a large volume of unstructured data information and converting into the structured information. Microsoft knowledge mining solution is a Azure AI Search. Okay, see different things you can understand here. Document intelligence, Azure AI document intelligence, that is related to the documents. Okay, whereas related to knowledge mining, Microsoft knowledge mining solution is a Azure AI Search. So maybe you no need to implement all these services. As of now, you have to understand what the services are available. For the knowledge mining, the solution is a Azure solution is a Azure AI Search. It is a searchable solution that has tools to build the indexes. So Azure AI Search can utilize the built-in AI capabilities of Azure AI services. So this Azure AI Search will use the already available AI models in the Azure AI services, such as image processing, document intelligence, natural language processing to extract the data. మీకేం చెప్పానమ్మా, అజూర్ ఏఐ సెర్చ్ అనేది డాక్యుమెంట్స్లో ఉన్న లార్జ్ వాల్యూమ్స్ ఆఫ్ అన్‌స్ట్రక్చర్డ్ డేటా నుండి ఎక్స్ట్రాక్ట్ చేసి సెర్చబుల్ నాలెడ్జ్ స్టోర్ కింద కన్వర్ట్ చేస్తుందని చెప్పాను. సో ఈ ఎక్స్ట్రాక్ట్ చేసే ప్రాసెస్లోన, అంటే డాక్యుమెంట్స్ నుండి ఎక్స్ట్రాక్ట్ చేసే ప్రాసెస్ కావచ్చు, ఇమేజెస్ నుండి ఎక్స్ట్రాక్ట్ చేసే ప్రాసెస్ కావచ్చు, చేసేటప్పుడు ఈ అజూర్ ఏఐ సెర్చ్ అనే సర్వీసు ఆల్రెడీ మైక్రోసాఫ్ట్ ఉన్న అదర్ ఏఐ సర్వీసెస్ యూజ్ చేసుకుంటుంది, లైక్ కంప్యూటర్ విజన్, కస్టమ్ విజన్, సో అండ్ సంథింగ్ ఏఐ స్పీచ్ and different last time మనం డిస్కస్ చేసాం కదా. సో those resources it will use to get that unstructured data and convert into the structured format. The product's AI capabilities makes it possible to index previously unsearchable documents and to extract and surface insights from the large amount of data quickly. So unsearchable, previously the unsearchable document and large volume of document, and make it to searchable very quickly. Make it searchable very quickly. And next one, understanding of generative AI in Microsoft Azure. So like ChatGPT. So generative AI describes a category of capabilities within AI that create the original content. It will create a content. Generative AI, there is one of the generative AI, the category capability to create a content. People typically interact with the generative AI like ChatGPT that has been built into chat application. That is built in a chat application. Maybe నాకంటే మీకే తెలుసు, ChatGPT చాలా మంది యూజ్ చేసి ఉంటారు. So in the chat box you can type what you want, so it will generate accordingly. So it's a chat application. So generative AI application take in natural language input, right? It's a natural language input. So in the today morning we have one faculty workshop is happened. How we can use the ChatGPT to improve the academic activities. So there in that session, that instructor entered the information. So question is the subject name is electrical machines, and contains 5 units, and weekly we have the 4 classes, and prepare the lesson plan. So then the ChatGPT preparing the complete lesson plan. So weekly, day wise they will prepare the lesson plan. So this is called as the generative AI. So this generative AI uses the natural language input, and also sometimes it will use the images and also code and also audio it will deals. So generative AI in the Microsoft Azure. Now new service, Azure OpenAI service. So Azure OpenAI service is a generative AI. In Microsoft Azure, you can use the Azure OpenAI service. Azure OpenAI service to build the generative AI application. Generative AI application. Okay, so different you can think. You can see here for document intelligence, Azure AI document intelligence. So to extract the data from the scanned documents, to extract the information from the scanned document. And whereas coming to the knowledge mining, so you can use Azure AI search. Azure AI search. And coming to the generative AI, you can use the Azure OpenAI service. Microsoft Azure OpenAI service is used for the generative AI solutions in the Microsoft. So Azure OpenAI is a Microsoft cloud solution for deploying, customizing, and hosting generative AI model. If you want to build your own model, generative AI model, you can use the Azure OpenAI service for generative AI. So in the examination, as of now, they will not ask to implement the Azure OpenAI service. They will ask you which of the following AI services in the Microsoft can be useful for the original content creation or which can be used as a generative AI. So the full answer is Azure OpenAI service. The service features are available for use and testing in the Azure OpenAI Studio. So ఇప్పుడు ఈ సర్వీస్ ఎక్కడ ఉంటుంది? Azure OpenAI సర్వీస్ ఎక్కడ ఉంటుంది? సో Azure OpenAI Studioలో ఉంటుంది. So Azure OpenAI service is available in the Azure OpenAI Studio. AutoML and Designer are available in the Azure Machine Learning Studio. And you can see somewhere Azure Design, Azure Document Intelligence is available where I think Document Intelligence Studio. So those things, such type of things will be asking in the examination. You can use the Azure OpenAI Studio user interface with the cloud portal, web portal to manage, develop, and customize the generative AI models. So if you want to manage or develop or customize the generative AI model, then go open the Azure OpenAI Studio and use the Azure OpenAI service and you can build the generative AI model. Okay. So these things I discussed now, right? Now I am asking a question. So anyone can respond what will be the right answer for this question. So this type of questions only will come because it's the fundamentals. First, Microsoft is expecting whether you understand the various services available in the Microsoft and their importance. The implementation, if you have interest, you can do it later. But for that one, make sure that you have a credit card. So what will be the answer for this question? Question, I think, or the question here. You want to create a model to predict the sales of a ice cream based on the historic data that includes daily ice cream sales totals and weather measurements. Based on weather measurements, your model able to forecast the ice cream sales. So which Azure service you will use? You want to use Azure Machine Learning, Azure AI Bot service, Azure AI language. Which studio? Yes, Azure Machine Learning. Azure Machine Learning. Okay. Right. Next. Please, anyone answer for this question? I will share in the chat box also. That means, sorry, in the chat box also I entered. So this type of questions only can only for practice purpose. I am giving this one. You work for a wildlife sanctuary and are considering using AI. You want to identify the bird species from the image. So which AI service you use for your prototype idea? Azure AI Vision, Azure AI Search, Azure OpenAI. Perfect. Perfect. It is a Azure AI Vision. Perfectly right. So this type of questions only you will get. Next. A predictive app provides audio output for visually impaired users. Which principle of responsible AI is reflected here? Anyone? Anyone? Perfect. Very good. Very good. I feel very happy for your response. Maybe 4 or 5 people. Hope remaining people also will learn from these these participants who are active in the classroom. So they learn from them if you are absent for these sessions, but learn and write the examination very well, right? Inclusiveness, that's the right answer. So this type of exam questions will come in the final examination. What about this one? You want to create a model to predict the cost of heating in an office building based on its size in square feet and number of employees working there. What kind of machine learning problem it is? Perfect. Perfect. Hakim, you are right. Perfect. Regression. Why it is regression? So cost. We are predicting the cost. Cost may be 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh, 4 lakh. So it is a regression problem. Perfectly right. Next. First give the answer for the second one. You need to evaluate the classification model. You want to evaluate the classification model. Which metric can be used? If you first second question answer one number, you need to evaluate the classification model. Which metric you can use? I will share the PPT once again. Question. Anyone responded? I don't know what message. Well, precision. Very good, Rohit. Yes, precision, precision. No, Pooja, not MSc. It's the precision. Very good. Now I asked the questions like actually what are the options we have? Options we have MSc, precision, and Silhouette. Now tell me, right answer is a precision only for this classification problem. Then which problem we use the MSc? I'm asking the question for which type of problem we will use the MSc, mean square error. Perfect. For the regression problem. Very good. And for which type of problems we will use the Silhouette score? For which type of problems we will use the Silhouette score? That's another option, third option. So that will be used for which type of problems? Perfect. 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 Very good. Clustering problem. For a clustering problem, we will use the Silhouette. Very good. Very good. Next. And now try to give the answer for the third question. In deep learning, what is the purpose of the loss function? Loss function. What is the purpose of the loss function? Loss function nothing but the error functions. So error functions ఉంటాయి కదా వాటి యొక్క పర్పస్ ఏంటి? What is the purpose of the loss function or error function? Yes, one person I think responded. Option 2, very good. Option 2, right answer. Option 2, right answer. Okay. So that error will give the difference between the your predicted label and the actual label, right? So evaluate the aggregate difference between the predicted and actual labels. Fourth one, can you answer? What does automated machine learning in the Azure machine learning enable you? Automated machine learning in Azure machine learning enables you to do automatically deploy new versions of the model as they are trained, automatical provision of Azure machine learning workspaces for new data scientists and organization, automatically run multiple training jobs using different algorithms and different parameters for find the best model. So which will be the a suitable answer for you, you think? Yes. Swati and Akila, you are right. So Using AutoML, everything will be streamlined. You no need to put more effort. You can train the job for the multiple algorithms, multiple parameters to find the best model. Okay, automatically you can do everything. Automatically you can do everything. So that C option is the right answer for this one. Automatically run the multiple training jobs using the different algorithms and parameters to find the best model. Okay. So now next one is a Microsoft Azure Fundamentals Computer Vision. So these are the contents developed based on the revised AI 900 syllabus. So I want to stop here and we will go for the break and take the break for the 10 minutes and we will start the session by 3:20. So we will take a break for the 10 minutes and we will start the session by 3:20. Okay. So